that there are two vessels A and B, and the capacities are in the ratio of 2:3. Now, the first one has spirit and water in the proportion of 5:9. That means the total is 14. Second one also has spirit and water in the ratio of 3:4. That means the total is 7. So now they are in the ratio, the total is in the ratio of 2:3. So here if the total 2 stands for 14, then 3 should stand for 21, right? So I multiply this entire thing by 3, and now I get that in the first one spirit and water is 5 and 9. In the second one spirit is 9 and water is 4 3s are 12. Now it is given that the contents are emptied into a vessel C. So when I add these two things, then the amount of spirit that I get is 5 plus 9, that is 14, and the amount of water that I get is 9 plus 12, that is 21, and the total is nothing but 14 plus 21, which is equal to 35. Now in 350 ml of this solution, so the total is 350, then water will be 210 and spirit will be 140. Now in 350 ml of the solution, 50 ml of water is mixed. So if 50 ml of water is mixed, the water becomes 260. So now the ratio of spirit is to water is 140 by 260. You simplify this, then 2 7s are, 2 13s are. So the ratio you will get is 7:13. So this is a relatively easy problem to understand and an easy one to solve. Definitely should be attempted by students in the NPAT. Okay. Now this is a very typical problem, right? And solving this is too lengthy, too complicated. So ideally I would say this should never be attempted in the examination. Moving ahead. Now it says that the 180-meter long train passes a person. That means now in this case, first the distance is nothing but the distance of the train, which is taken as 180 meters. The person is running, so the speed of the man is equal to 8 kilometers per hour, and he is running in the opposite direction. In this case, the time taken is equal to 6 seconds. Now when two objects are moving in the opposite directions, you add the speed. So we get the total time taken. Sure. So now I get that distance, speed is equal to distance upon time. So speed is nothing but speed of the train x plus speed of the man 8, which is equal to distance upon time. But where you need to be careful is the speed here is given in kilometers per hour. So this needs to be multiplied by 5 by 18 in order to get the exact value in meters per second. So my first equation, I get x plus 40 by 18 is equal to 180 divided by 6. Now the second case, where the person is running in the same direction, the distance again is the same, 180, right? The speed however is 10 kilometers per hour, and the time taken is what I have to find out. So the time in this case, let us assume, is t. So x minus 10 into 5 by 18 will be equal to 180 divided by t. So once you solve this, you will be able to get the value of x, and once you substitute that in this particular equation, you will be able to get the value of t, which should work out to 7.2 seconds. So I'm leaving the calculations up to you, but this is how we do it. When objects are moving in the opposite direction, we add their speed. When objects are moving in the same direction, we take the differences of their speed. So this was a pretty easy example from time, speed and distance. Now the next example says that S1, S2, S3, they're all sums of infinite geometric series. Now for an infinite geometric series, the summation is given by the first term upon 1 minus the common ratio, right? So for the first series S1, the first term is 1 and the common ratio is given as 1 by 2. So this value becomes 2. The second series, the first term is 2 and the common ratio is given as 1 by 3. So this is simplified as 2 upon 2 by 3, which is equal to 3. The third series is 3 upon 1 minus 1 by 4, which is equal to 3 divided by 3 by 4, which is equal to 4. So I get the numbers 2, 3, 4 and so on. So S1 plus S2, you add up the whole thing till S10, it's nothing but 2 plus 3 plus 4 till 11. The first term 2, second term 3, so the 10th term 11. So 2 plus 3 plus 4 plus till 11, the summation of this entire thing is simply 65. So 65 is the right answer to this particular example. Looks complicated, but actually a very easy example to solve. Okay, now here it's given that the sum of the roots of the equation is equal to the product of the roots. Now remember, whenever we have an equation in the form ax square plus bx plus c is equal to 0, then sum of the roots is given by minus b by a and products of the roots is given by c by a. So here it's given that sum of the roots is equal to the product of the roots. So here in this equation, the value of a is actually 3, the value of b is taken as 2k plus 1, and the value of c is taken as minus of k plus 5. The minus sign is common outside. So the sum minus b by a is minus of 2k plus 1 divided by 3 is c by a. So minus of k plus 5 divided by a. So the negative sign gets cancelled, the 3 gets eliminated. I get 2k plus 1 is equal to k plus 5. So I get the value of k is equal to 4. Now substitute the value of k in every equation and simply check. So when you substitute the value of k in the first one, I get k square is 16, 16 3s are 48, 48 minus 4, 44 minus 40 is not 0. So first one definitely not my answer. Second one, 3 into 16, 48, 48, 48 plus 4 is 52 minus 50, definitely not equal to 0. The third one, 2 into k square, that is 16 to the 32, 32 minus 4 is 28 minus 28, 0. The third one satisfies the equation. So 2k square minus k minus 28 is equal to 0 is the equation which is satisfied by the value of k is equal to 4. Now, relatively an easy sum. The funda that you have to keep in mind is sum of the roots is minus b by a and product of the roots is c by a. Now, here in the next problem, we are given that x upon a plus y upon b is 2 and ax minus by plus b square minus a square is 0, right? Now here I am going to use a bit of a trick. Now if it is given that x upon a plus y upon b is equal to 2, then we can quickly assume that x is equal to y is equal to a is equal to b is equal to 1. If I assume the value of each one of things as equal to 1, then it definitely satisfies x upon a plus y upon b is 2, and putting it in ax minus by plus b square minus a square, we also get 0. So a trivial solution, x is y is a is b is 1 will satisfy it. So then all you have to do is substitute the values in the left hand side and check which matches. So the first one, x cube plus y cube is equal to a cube, xy is equal to 2ab, substitute the values, the LHS is not equal to RHS. In the second one, the left and the right hand side definitely match. In xy is equal to 2ab, the values left and right don't match. Now in this particular sum, if I put 2 into 1 square plus 1 square is 2 is equal to a square is 1, b square is 1, does not match. So the only value which matches the entire thing is x cube plus y cube is a cube plus b cube. So simply by assuming values of x is equal to y is equal to a is equal to b is equal to 1, you are able to get the answer, right? So a little bit of smart guessing and this becomes one of the easy sums to solve. Okay, now the next problem says that a certain number of persons can complete a piece of work in 20 days working 9 hours a day. So the total time in hours is nothing but 20 multiplied by 9, that is 180 hours. Now if the number of persons increase by 33.5, Now 33 and 33 1/3 percent is nothing but 1/3. So if the number of people increase by 1/3, that is the number of people now become 4 upon 3 times the number of people, then the time will become 3/4 of the original time. So 3/4 of the original time means the total time which is now required is equal to 135 hours. But it is given that time spent per day decreased by 50%. Originally 9 hours were worked every day. Now every day only 4.5 hours are used. So 135 hours divided by 4.5 hours per day gives me the answer 30 days. So now it takes 30 days to complete the same job. Definitely an easy sum can definitely be completed in the exam. Okay, now functions. So function f is from the real to real. That means the input is a real number, output is also a real number. G is also from real to real. Input is real, output is real. So the important part, the function fx is defined as 3x minus 2, and g of x is defined as 3x minus 2. G of x is defined as x square plus 1. So I have to find g of f inverse of 7, right? So first let's find the inverse function. So if f of x is 3x minus 2, assume y is equal to 3x minus 2. So y plus 2 is equal to 3x. So I get x is equal to y plus 2 divided by 3. So f inverse of x is defined as x plus 2 divided by 3. So first let's find out the value of f inverse of 7. So f inverse of 7 is 7 plus 2 divided by 3, which is 3. And g of f inverse of 7 is g of 3, which is equal to 3 square plus 1, which is equal to 10. So the value of g of f inverse of x should be equal to 10, right? Simple example, definitely can be solved easily in the examination. Okay, now this is a typical problem of statistics. If you are not comfortable with statistics, then you can skip this question, but let's understand the simple funda. Here it is given that the sum of deviations of n observation measured from 50 is minus 10. So the number of observations let's take as n, right? So the deviation, the sum of all, so for every value that is x of I, the deviation is measured from 50, and that is equal to minus 10, right? So when I do this, I get sigma of xi minus 50 times n, the number of observations, is equal to minus 10. So, and also the second function, sigma of xi minus 46 is equal to 70, because it's given that the sum of the deviations measured from 46 is 70. So I take sigma xi is minus 50 is minus 10, and sigma of xi minus 46 is equal to 70. So when I open up all these observations, then summation of all the terms minus n times 50 is equal to minus 10. Similarly, summation of all the terms minus n times 46 is equal to 70. Why did I multiply this by n? Because this 50 is for every single observation, right? Within the bracket, it counts for every observation. So when I remove it from the bracket, then this becomes a separate term, and this is n times. For each observation, 50 is once. So now comparing both of them, I get that 50 times n minus 10 should be equal to 46 times n plus 70. So solving this, I get the value of n is equal to 20, right? Once I get n is equal to 20, sigma xi is equal to, substitute the value here, and you will get that the value of sigma xi is 990. So the mean of all the observations is nothing but sum of all the observations divided by n, which is 990 divided by 20, which is equal to 49.5. So if you understand statistics, you will understand what this is. If not, then here's a quick recap. For every term, x of I is nothing but the observation. So every observation minus 50, right? Measured from 50, 50 is the comparison figure. So when I'm taking the difference, every observation is at a difference of minus 10. So sigma xi minus n times 50, because there are n observations, is minus 10. So I take the two equations, find the value of n, I find out the sum of sigma xi, and sum of all observations divided by number of observations is nothing but the simple mean. So the answer 49.5. So this is a medium level of question. It requires a little bit of understanding of statistics. If you understand statistics and simple deviation and mean of deviations, then this is a simple one to understand. If not, it's okay to leave the problem. Now, X is the median of the data. Now this is a very simple problem. Median actually means the value which is in the middle, right? So if X is the median of the data, I first need to arrange all these numbers in ascending order. So I arrange the numbers. I get 13, 18, 20, 30, 31, 32, 43, 49, 54 and 59. So the median value will be the middle value. So I keep eliminating numbers from the end. So these two numbers are in between. So X, the middle value, is 31 plus 32 divided by 2, which is 30.5. Now, if 18 is replaced by 81, so I replace 18 by 81 and rearrange them in the order. So the numbers become 13, 20, 30, 31, 32, 43, 49, 54, 59 and 81. So again eliminating one number from each side to reach the center, we come to 32 and 43. So the value Y is 32 plus 43 divided by 2, which is equal to 37.5. So the difference between X and Y, 37.5 minus 31.5. This is 31.5. So 37.5 minus 31.5, 6. A very simple problem. The only thing you have to understand is the median of any set of numbers is the number which is exactly in the middle. So if there are even numbers, take the two middle numbers and take the average of these numbers. That's it. Simple problem. Now, it is given that the radii of internal and external surface of a hollow spherical cylinder are 6 and 10. So let the internal radius Ri be 6, external radius Re is 10. Now, volume of a sphere is given as 4 upon 3 pi r cube. So if it is a hollow sphere, then from the outside volume, if I subtract the inside volume, then I will get the volume of the total metal being used. So 4 upon 3 pi r cube external minus r cube of internal will give me the value, right? And this volume is equal to the solid cylinder's volume. Volume of a cylinder is equal to pi r square h. So this is equal to pi into r square into h. I have the values of Re, Ri and R, right? Re is 10, Ri is 6 and the radius of the cylinder is 7. So pi gets eliminated. Simplifying this gives me the value of h. So in this case, the value of h turns out to be 21 1 by 3. So all you need to know is the formula for volume of a sphere and the formula for volume of a cylinder. So pretty easy sum, straightforward application of formula in this example. Chalo, moving ahead to the next one. In an office, 60% of employees are female. So total, if there are 100% employees, then 60% are female, which means 40% are male. Now, 60% of the employees, including 27 males, got a promotion, right? So, out of the 100%, 60% got a promotion, out of which 27 males got a promotion. So, if 27 males got a promotion, then I need to identify so now I do not know what is the exact number, right? So moving ahead, I'll say there are 90 female employees. So if there are 90 female employees and out of that, so 60% means 90, so 100% means 150. So the total actual number of employees is 150, right? That means there are exactly 60 males and 90 females, because 60% of 150 is 90 and 40% of 150 is 60. 60%, so total 90 employees got promotion. out of which 27 were male. So the difference 63 is female. So out of 90 females, 63 females got promotion. So 63 is what percentage of 90? 63 into 100 divided by 90. I get 70% of the females got a promotion. So 70% of the females got a promotion, right? If this is confusing, I'm going to do this once again. So let me do this when the data is pretty simple. I start with total employees. Now females there are 60%. So males is 40%. So 90 is the actual number of females. So if 60% is equal to 90, 1.5 times, 40%, 1.5 times, there are 60 males, right? Now 60% of the employees got promotion. So that means total 90 employees got a promotion, out of which 27 who got promotion were males. So the remaining 63 are females. So 63 out of 90 is equal to 70%. So the answer is 70% of the female employees got a promotion. Sure. Moving ahead, the next example. If f of x is 3x plus 2, then I have to find what f inverse is, right? So f of x is y. Let us say y is equal to 3x plus 2 upon 5x minus 3. So I will get my cross multiplying that 3x plus 2 is equal to y times 5x minus 3. So expanding this, 3x plus 2 is equal to 5 times xy minus 3 times y. So I get 3x minus 5xy is equal to minus 3y minus 2, or 5xy minus 3x is equal to 3y plus 2. So from this, if I take common as 5x, then taking just x outside, I get x into 5y minus 3 is 3y plus 2. So I get the value of x is 3y plus 2 upon 5y minus 3. In short, the value of f inverse of x is 3x plus 2 upon 5x minus 3. But if you take a look at it, then the value of f of x is exactly the same thing. So that simply means that f inverse of x and f of x, both of them are the same. So just simplifying an expression, a very easy sum to solve. Next one. The sum of the first 7 terms of an arithmetic series is 10 and next 7 terms is 17. Then the 5th term of the series. I'm going to just show you the formula, but the calculation seems to get extensive, so I prefer to leave this problem in the exam. But the sum of n terms of a series is given by n upon 2 into 2a plus n minus 1 into d, and the nth term of a series is given by a plus n minus 1 into d. I leave you with these formula, but I'm not going to solve this because it's going to take extensive calculation and not worth the time. So problem to be left. Next one. Mean proportional between two numbers is 16. What does that mean? Let x be the mean proportional. So a upon x is equal to x upon b. That means x is equal to root of ab, which is equal to 16. The third proportional, which means if third proportional is y, then a upon b is equal to b upon y, which means y is equal to b square upon a, which is equal to 128. So now you know that root of ab is 16 and b square upon a is equal to 128. So I get AB is equal to 16 square or 256, and I get B square upon A is equal to 128, right? So I can say that the value of A is nothing but 256 upon B. Substituting in the next equation, I get B square divided by 256 by B is equal to 128. So I get b cube is equal to 256 into 128. If you simplify, the value of b turns out to be 32. Substitute here, the value of a turns out to be 8. So the average of the two numbers a plus b by 2 is 32 plus 8 by 2, which is equal to 20. So all you need to know is what is meant by mean proportional and what is meant by third proportional. Calculations are pretty straightforward and simple and easy sum to solve. Next one. The tower of height x stands vertically on the ground. So let's assume that this is a tower height x. From a point on the ground, the angle of elevation of top of the tower is theta. So this is theta. Now, from a point h above and from a point h above the point. So this is the point. So let's say from a point h, from this point at a distance of h, the angle of depression of the foot of the tower is alpha. So if angle of depression this is alpha, then the corresponding opposite elevation is also alpha. So now I know that let the distance between these 2 points be equal to d. So I know tan theta is opposite upon adjacent. Similarly, tan alpha is opposite upon adjacent. So I get d is equal to x by tan theta, which is equal to h by tan alpha. So solving this, I get the value of x is equal to h times tan theta into tan alpha. H times tan theta into tan alpha, right? So if you remember that tan is nothing but the opposite upon the adjacent, then this is a very simple problem to solve. Absolutely no problem in that. So moving ahead to the next problem. Now it is said that the sum is lent out at 10% per annum compound. So rate of interest 10%. The difference between the interest for third and fourth year is 42.35. Right, 42.35 is the difference between the third and the fourth year's interest. So the difference of the interests, I can say P into 1 plus 100 by 4 minus P into 1 plus R by 100 ka cube is equal to 42.35. So P into 1.1 raised to 4 minus P into 1.1 cube is equal to 42.35. So the value of the principal is 42.35 upon 1.1 raised to 4 minus 1.1 raised to 3. Now if you sit and calculate the entire thing, then you will get what the final answer is, right? But calculating the fourth value and then taking the difference and then dividing a decimal value with another decimal value will be too much of calculations. So in this case, is there a better method to do it? Well, there is a slightly lengthy method, but definitely an easier method to solve it. So now the method which I will use is the options method, right? Let's assume that the principal was 4,000. So on 4,000, for the first year, I would have got 400 as interest. So principal becomes 4,400. 10% of that 440 is my interest. For the third year 4840, you add the interest to the principal. The interest 10% is 484 and you add that to the principal 5384. Next year 10% of this 532.4. Now the difference between these two numbers is not 42.35. The difference between the interest of third and fourth year is not 42.35. So 4,000 not my option. Let's take the second option, 3,500, right? So 10% of this is 350. So for the first year 350, add it to the principal 3850, 10% interest 385, add it to the principal and get for the third year 4235 and the principal 423.5. For the fourth year again add it to the principal 4658.5, 10% of this 465.85. Now if you take the difference between the interest of the third and fourth year, it works out to be 42.35, right? So option 3,500 is the best one, right? I took 4,000 because it was the most round figure, and then 3,500 because it was again giving me a round figure, right? If this did not work, I would have to check with the other two. So options might be a better way to work out this problem, since it will be a medium level problem. Next one, the mean of three numbers A plus B plus C 3, and here I'm assuming that A is the smallest number and C is the largest. So the mean of three numbers is 12 more than the least and 16 less than the greatest. So I also know that the median of the three numbers is 6, which means the middle value B is equal to 6. So if I know that A plus 12 is equal to C minus 16, then I get the value of A as C minus 28. So substituting the value of A, that is C minus 28, plus the value of B 6, plus the value of C itself, which is C, and divided by 3, this is equal to C minus 16. Solving this equation, I will get that the value of C is equal to 26. From this, I derive the value of A is equal to minus 2 and B is obviously 6. So the sum of the three numbers turns out to be 30. 26 minus 2 plus 6 is 30. I hope this sum was easy to understand, right? You just have to form very simple linear equations and get the answer. Okay, now the next one. It says sine theta plus cos theta is P and sec theta plus cosec theta is Q. Remember, the best value to assume for anything, theta is generally 45 degrees. So the value of sine theta is the same as the value of cos theta, which is 1 by root 2, and the value of sec theta is the value of cosec theta when theta is equal to 45, and that is root 2. So I get 1 upon root 2 plus 1 upon root 2 is equal to P. So that is 2 upon root 2, which is equal to root 2, and sec theta plus cosec theta, root 2 plus root 2, which is 2 root 2 is equal to Q. So Q into P minus 1 by P is equal to 2 times root 2 into root 2 minus 1 upon root 2. That is equal to 2 times root 2 into 2 minus 1 upon root 2, which is equal to 2. So just assume the value of theta as 45. You know the values of sine, cos, sec and cosec. Substitute them in the equation and you will get the answer to this particular question. So easy one to solve. Next one. It is given that 2 cube plus 4 cube plus 6 cube till 20 cube is k into 10 square. So if I take 2 cube common from each of the numbers, then I get 1 cube plus 2 cube plus 3 cube till 10 cube is equal to k into 10 square. Now formula for summation of the cubes, that sigma n cube, you want to add cubes from 1 to n. The formula is n into n plus 1 by 2 the whole square, right? So here the value of n is 10. So substituting, I get 2 cube into 10 plus 1 upon 2 the whole square is equal to k into 10 square. So I get 8 into 10 into 10 square into 11 square divided by 4 is k into 10 square. So if I eliminate the 10 square, 4 and 2, then k is 121 multiplied by 2, which is equal to 242. So again, a very simple sum. All you need to know is that the sum of the first n cubes is given by the formula n into n plus 1 by 2 the whole square, also known as n square upon n plus 1 the whole square divided by 4. So these were the 40 sums of NPAT. If you have watched both the first and the second part, you'll be quickly able to identify that it's possible to easily crack about 30 of the 40 sums. Except for 2 or 3 problems, most of them are solvable by either direct application of formula or by using some intelligent assumptions. So I hope you are able to crack the examination of NPAT easily with flying colors and get admission to the college of your choice. Wish you all the best and have a good day.